And let me talk about something else that's been very disappointing. And it's Elizabeth Warren, and the reason I'm only bringing her up right now is because Massachusetts is too close to call. It hasn't been declared for Hillary Clinton yet, but Hillary Clinton is in the lead at 50.9% versus Bernie Sanders at 48.2%. Now, me and my wife, we went out and did our part. And we got out the vote, and we encouraged as many people. Matter of fact, I made sure everybody on my floor at my job, I made sure everybody knew to go and vote and do their part. But you can only do so much, and you need powerful players with large voices to put their career and their reputation on the line. And I just don't see I don't see the value in I think Elizabeth Warren not endorsing is going to backfire in the long run. What do you guys think?
She can write all the wonderful little op-eds that kind of praise Bernie in one way. She can do all this little dancing around and stuff all she wants to. But again, like you're saying, had Elizabeth Warren yesterday, said yes, Bernie, bam. I mean, they're on the same side on legislation. She's praised his Wall Street plan, like all types of stuff. And I think there's a really good comment that someone made a comment. I think it was, let's say, Antron Bailey said, progressives need to reach out to the masses and stop staying in their bubble. Absolutely. We have this, progressives tend to be very academic, and we tend to speak on a very certain level.
Right.
And then we get mad about low information voters, but we're not speaking to people in terms and on a level that they understand or engage in. The person that is struggling, that's working two jobs, that just went out and voted for Hillary Clinton today, most definitely understands what you're talking about if you just talk to them in very simple, real-life terms. You can use words like socialism and blah, 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 but all I've ever been taught is that as an individual average American, is that socialism, like communism, is bad. Capitalism, good. I mean, you really got to make it that simple. And as we're going forward, as we're going into Michigan next week, as we're going into Michigan, as we're going to Florida coming up, Ohio, Illinois, as we're going into some of these other states, we really got to keep the message simple, because the message is very simple, it's very honest, and it's very real, and it resonates with the majority of Americans, even those on the right. So while we're having the issue that we're having right now, I mean, there are other layers to it, but we got to keep, we're so up here, like, with this moral superiority. I don't know if it was Solomon. I can't remember who said it before. I don't know if it was Niz or Solomon, but somebody made it comment before about how we act like we're morally superior because we're supporting Bernie. It's like, we need the people to come out and vote. We need people to be active and engaged. That's the only way that we win. And with these low turnouts, with people not being engaged, even on the Republican side, they have engagement, but their engagement is very insidious.
Yeah,
it's being very driven by something very insidious. Okay.
Every time I get ready to tell you that you're breaking up, you start coming back in. So it's pretty.
I mean, there's something very insidious on the Republican side that is driving, their turnout, that's driving their engagement.
Well, actually, let me push back on that, Noah, because I'm trying to. Yes, Donald Trump has a bunch of white supremacists that support him. Right? Yes, that's true. Okay, wait, hang on. Breaking news that Sanders is now back in the lead in Massachusetts. I can't deal with this Elizabeth Warren.
I was like, it's way too early, and Ben, do not, just in case we're going to do the same disclaimers MSNBC does, even though we probably don't have as many viewers. We're on our way. But in case you're in line and watching this on the phone or something, do not get out of line.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, like, I don't know, if you're in line and you're listening to me, then you better know full well not to get out of line, right? So that disclaimer being said, make sure you stay in line. But truthfully, let me tell you, the lines were so short here in Massachusetts. My wife and I, we got in and out in 5 minutes. I've never seen that. All right. Let me throw this over to whoever. The floor is open. Man,
I'm not liking Massachusetts right now. I'm not.
What's Massachusetts looking like right now?
It was 4%. Now it's 3.5% gap, so it's closing again. But I'm not liking how it's looking, and I'm not liking that there's a growing no preference vote. Like, it's almost at a full 1%. I swear Elizabeth Warren, if you voted no preference, oh my God,
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I'm done with Elizabeth Warren. I'm completely done. Not because she didn't endorse, but because of the message she sent out today that she voted absentee from Washington D.C. and she is not coming out to support any candidate. And I was like, you know what? We already figured that out. Right. When you didn't endorse yesterday, we already knew that. We don't need you to turn around and then throw salt in our face, throw sand in our face. You know, just be quiet at this point.
And then
go ahead.
The Young Turks thing that just came out where they talked about how Debbie Wasserman Schultz has joined the Republicans in attacking her Consumer Protections Agency. As in, like, do you not see that your whole plan, I guess, to work with the Democratic establishment when the head of the DNC is working with Republicans against you? What are you doing? What are you doing?
What do you hope to even get from this at this point? Because, I mean, that's exactly right. I wanted to bring up that article. Thank you for referencing it. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is joining with the Republicans to oppose the agency, the credit. What's the name of the agency? The Credit Protection Bureau Agency. Forgive me, I should know that off the top of my head. But basically, Elizabeth Warren's baby, the one that she birthed in the middle of the crisis, in the middle of the recession, to protect consumers. And part of it is regulation on check cashing entities, payday loans. Well, not check cashing, but payday loans, which happen to be at most check cashing facilities. Regulating the type of interest that they can charge you, regulating the type of fees that they can charge you if you're late, doing just basic humane regulations. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who is from Miramar, Florida, in Miramar, Florida, where I actually lived and worked for a very long time, there is a payday loan place on every single corner. So Debbie Wasserman Schultz has come, is going against this agency that was started by Elizabeth Warren, this consumer protection agency, and she is coming on the side of the payday lenders.
And the Republicans.
Shows you, and the Republican Party, which shows you that she does not have any interest in the best interest of the average poor working class American. Her interests lie with payday lenders. I get it. Her district is full of them. But that district is also full with a lot of people who are being taken advantage by those payday lenders. Anybody?
Yeah, it's one, that's why we need Tim Canova so bad. I'm so glad he's running against her. But two, the fact that when she was called out on it, she bragged about it and said she thinks this should be a national policy. She thinks that what happened in her district with all these payday lenders, she said it's a model for the nation.
Yeah.
That's what she said. And that's the head of the Democratic establishment that you think, because all the Politico articles are saying that her plan, she has no plan to endorse Bernie ever, and that her plan is to eventually let Bernie fizzle out and endorse Hillary Clinton at the convention, and maybe get some things out of it. Who knows what those would be?
I'm sorry, where are you getting this from?
You haven't seen? Oh, I thought Michael sent you them a while ago. Like every Politico article.
Yeah. Well, you mean from the Young Turks were talking about that tonight also?
Yeah. It's the fact that everything that's coming out is that her eventual endorsement will be for Hillary Clinton, not for Bernie Sanders, and it will be near the convention where she hopes by that point Bernie will fizzle out and her supporters who are with him will have calmed down, and so she could be this kind of mediator at the convention and get some progressive agenda.
Listen, let me tell you how powerful. Let me tell you how powerful she is not in terms of progressivism. She will not be able to live down by any convention the fact that she did not support Bernie Sanders. She is not going to be the conciliator. Hell, I can't even think of the word I want to use there. She will not be able to reconcile the differences between Bernie Sanders' camp and Hillary Clinton's camp. She won't, because she didn't endorse. If she had endorsed, she could have, but she didn't. So she can't. So you know what most Bernie Sanders supporters are going to say at this point, especially those who were originally run, Warren, run, they're going to tell her to go to hell. And you know what? I agree with them.
And when every problematic legislation that the Hillary Clinton forces through Congress goes through, every center right proposal, they're not going to be looking at Hillary Clinton. For the same reason you say you don't look at Obama that badly, because you knew what you were getting with Obama.
Exactly.
We knew what we're getting with Hillary Clinton. But if you endorse her and push her through, and then she does the obvious things she's going to do that everyone can see she's going to do, they're not going to look at her. They're going to look at you because you were supposed to be the one that was better.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And so I don't even know where to go with let me pull up my chat room over here so I can I know Noah, you have an article about Angela Davis, and I said we're going to take it after the last call, but I have to take it after this call, and then we'll talk about Angela Davis. 347